Hey y'all, hey, I'm back, and I have not wanted to do this video for such a long time, but somebody messaged me on Instagram and was like, I'm still waiting on their flip through. So I'm doing part one today, and I am doing a flip through of my 2023 planner slash journal, and this is a Hobonichi cousin. So I'll just show you the outside. This is why I didn't want to do this flip through. And also I marked off the pages so I could show y'all specific things during this flip through. So I will tell you all, this covers January through September, I believe. Maybe August, can't remember. I think it was September that I started in my second one, which was sent to me by Lauren Phelps Design when she started her Live, Plan, Dream notebooks. I got a B6 from her to help her launch her notebook. So the part two of this will be the last 4 months of the year as I plan and journal in the Lauren Phelps notebook. But for now, you are looking at a Hobonichi cousin. And it became harder to write in after a while, honestly. And so that's why when Lauren reached out, I was like, oh, sure. I need something else to write in anyways. And so I'll just show you. I'll try not to talk through every page to make this quicker. Feel free to mute me and just speed this up so you can see the ideas and designs of the journal entries and the planner spreads for your own personal interest and gain. So this is in the pocket. It is a emotion chart. I use it sometimes when I couldn't find the word for how I was feeling, because I did track my emotions on this page of my Hobonichi. And so as you can see here, which I'll zoom in a bit, every day I would write down a word. Let's see, you can hardly see this part only because this book is very, very filled. So I wrote a word every day, and I also took a picture of myself that I took of myself at some point during the month and put it below. At the top you'll see like 2 to 3 goals that I wanted to accomplish by the end of the month, and I checked it off if I achieved it. So I did that through September, and then here I continued my photos but didn't track my emotions here because I did that in the new planner, which will be a part of part 2. So if you're looking for ideas on what to do with this page in a Hobonichi, write one word to express either how you felt every day, how the day went, or something of that nature. Just something where you only have to write one word very quickly. And so on the monthly spreads, I, like a lot of other planner girls, started in December because I couldn't wait for the new year. But I didn't start the work in December. I just started this monthly spread. And so I did this just to give myself an idea of what I could do with the monthly spreads, because I didn't want to write what I was doing here and on the weekly pages repeat the information. So what I did was I jotted down very briefly what happened each day. And that helped me keep track of what I needed to write for my mood on these days. So I started with December, and then when I started the year, I was more consistent with writing this every single day. Now, I will admit to you, 2023 was a very hard year for me. We had a lot of loss in my family. I lost my 18-year best friend, my cat. I mean, it was a very hard year. So some of these entries are hard to read now because it was like days of hard things. I lost some students in 2023. That's all documented here. And but I did have some good memories. One of my best and favorites was the retreat that happened, Camp Confident Canvas, where I saw so many women and young people that I love in person. And I just continued through, I believe, September again with just very quickly a snippet of something that happened every single day. The only days I did not do were the 29th and 30th of September. Every other day has a snippet. And so from here we go into the weekly pages. And so it's going to shift. It started out me answering a question a day, which I got the questions from Pinterest. Also, the first full week in January, started writing the list format from a book called Happiness Lists by Maria Seal. And so I did that for a little while, but I think I fell off with that, which you'll see here. And I always use stickers to fill in spaces that weren't filled in with words. So here I'm using some Country Morning Creation stickers. These were my favorites from the kit. The coffee kit that she has. And you know, this was a great way, to be honest, to use up stickers that I wasn't really into. So like some of these dolls I wouldn't have used in my like real journaling. And so it was easy to stick them down in the weekly pages. So I didn't know what to do with these houses, so it became a thing at the bottom of the page. And you know, it's just a way to use up your stash. So you'll see that as well. But I continued, as you can see, doing the list on the left column and then answering questions from Pinterest on the top. And right now we're only in February. And so as I go through February, you know, this is that time of year where you start to fall off, praise the Lord. So I stopped using my stickers as much around this time. Got a little busy. My mother-in-law was actually very ill as well. So I continued the list, but I did not continue answering the questions. I wrote all of the questions for the month at the beginning of the month. So that's why you'll see the questions here. But I only continued my list into March. And okay, so right around the time when I started April, I came up with a new idea. I said to myself, I'm just going to put a little picture from each day and then write a short caption about what happened that day or what happened in the photo. Kind of like what I do in the monthlies. Well, as you can see, I got those pictures down. Got the pictures down, I just didn't explain them. So this is a pictorial account of April because I did not write my captions. But I did continue my list, and I did that throughout the month of April. So this is probably the end of that. And okay, so here's where I shift again in 2023. I said I need to be a little more definite with my plans. And so I started making a list that I needed to do of things each day. My weekly spreads got a little prettier because I started using my planner kits and the ones that I really liked. Filling in spaces again with stickers and post-it notes and things, just to fill in the space. You'll see ghosting here. I don't mind ghosting. The only thing I mind is when ink or some medium I use bleeds through. But ghosting doesn't bother me because it actually shows you that I've been working. So I think it was around this time I started to fall off on writing my plans down, because what was happening here? This was the retreat. And so I didn't have the capacity, y'all, to plan that retreat the way that I needed to for it to be what I needed it to be. And so this list got shorter, but then after the retreat, I went back to making my list again. I also started watching Bridgerton around this time, or Queen Charlotte. No, it was Queen Charlotte that I started watching. And so you'll see all these like Bridgerton references, and Simply Gilded had this beautiful kit that came out and I had to have it. So, all right. So here again, I fell off a little, but in fairness, I was in another state competing in a national pageant. And so these pictures are all from the pageant week. This was downtime. The rest of this was competition. And so then I go back to my real life. I love how that shows up in my planner. And I just continued writing down all the things I needed to do each day. So you'll see all these different sticker shops. Y'all cannot ask me what stickers I use. Like when I tell you that these stickers are from so many different places, I don't even remember where I pulled them from. I do know this is Simple Paper Co. because I love those stickers. Look at that little cluster I made right there, y'all. It's so pretty. So anyways, this is when I discovered sterling ink. Thanks to my enabling friend, Talia. And around September, that is when I transitioned to my new planner / notebook. So I stopped using stickers because I knew I was getting ready to move out. And I just kept making my list until the end of September. And that was just to help me transition into my new notebook. And so I leave the weekly pages, go into my daily pages. This is where all my journaling happens. So I essentially use this Hobonichi cousin for planning and journaling and habit tracking, mood tracking, all of those things. So I put this piece of acetate here. I thought that was a really pretty addition there. Holes in the pages. Y'all know, many of you know how much I love putting a hole in the page, and I put a piece of vellum there as a divider for the month of January to kick off all my journaling spreads. So I'll just share these, and you've seen a couple of these pages, like this one on Instagram. I did a reel called 19 Things You Can Put in Your Journal When You Don't Feel Like Writing. So this was real life. This is another one of those pages. Sometimes I didn't have the capacity to sit and do all the writing that I'm used to doing. And so as a result, this is another, like, I just covered a lot of the page because I didn't want it to be empty. And I found that this was best for me because I do like, you know, looking through a book that's full of entries. And so on those days that I had nothing, you'll see artwork or quotes or large hand lettering or something like that. So here, 2 pages. Guess that Megan movie wore me out, huh? Sometimes you'll also see I did not do 5-point journaling, but I still wrote on the page. So like here, I just made a list of people that God used to bless me on that day or during the month. Like sometimes I didn't have the capacity to do the whole shebang, and so I just did a little shoot. And then you'll see other pages where I actually did do the whole shebang. And so here we are, starting the month of February. I put a piece of vellum here to divide this month. I stopped inserting the vellum and acetate because I noticed that it was making the book thick for no reason. And so in the month of February, I remember I went to Kansas for one of the retreats with Illustrated Faith, and it was just a lot going on also with my mother-in-law. She was in her final days, and so I was trying to be a support to my husband during this time. So you'll see a lot of pages where there's just quotes because I didn't have it in me to really sit down and do 5-point journaling when I was creating an obituary or, you know, just trying to hold my husband up at that time. So, you know, this is real life, and I'm glad I get to share this with you all because I think some people come to my Instagram account and think I got it all together all the time, but this is real life that you're looking at. I couldn't always do all the things, so some pages look more bare than others. This is almost a whole month that's mostly quotes. And so going into my birthday month, the month of March, and this is the month I turned last year I turned 42. So I wrote 42 things I loved about myself for the first 2 pages because my birthday is the 2nd, so I thought that this spread would be nice. And then again, this was the month that my mother-in-law actually passed. And so again, you'll just see a lot of things that I taped in here or quickly wrote in order to fill my pages. So I will say there are some great memories that happened during this month as well. For example, I met Antonio, who's also Style Channel on Instagram, and I absolutely love him. He's so funny, and seeing him in person was like the highlight of the month for me. So again, you'll see just some stuff I taped into the book. Little notes and things. If you've ever sent me a note, if you sent me a note last year, it's probably in here. And then we go into the month of April where I had to kick things into gear for Reveal Your Teal. And at this time I had discovered the nonprofit that I was going to support in Kansas. And so I went hard in April, and I made sure to use as many of the printables as I could and to fill as many of the pages. I think I did every single day in April with something teal. Now, it's not necessarily 5-point journaling, but you will see something on the page and it will have a printable or the color teal, just because this is one of the things that is so important to me. Like, if you don't know that about me, then you're not my friend. I care so much for survivors and their growth, their healing journeys, that whole thing, because I am one. And so making these pages were very important to me. So I'll show you the rest of these. I did a little tip in right here, I remember. So I got some happy mail from my friend Karen. She actually put this on a canvas, and I tore the fabric of her art off the canvas so I could put it in my book. Don't tell her I said that, y'all. I interviewed some survivors during the month, and I wanted to honor their voices, so I made a spread of each of them. Some days it was harder than others to do journaling, and so you'll see something like this. I documented a lot of things. I did not know until last year that Donna Summer was a survivor, so I gave her her own little section of that page in my journal. And I always reflect on the month, what went well, what went wrong, what I can do better the next year, and a page to honor and spotlight all of the sponsors who supported Reveal Your Teal. And then from there we go into the month of May. So I had enough of teal by the time we got to May, so I transitioned a bit into some more neutral colors, even though this is the other color that I use a lot, which is purple or lavender. So, but you'll see some variety in this month as well. This is my sister, so it's another page that I put in the 19. When you don't have the capacity to do a whole page, you can do a shout out to someone that you care for. And so this was my sister's 37th birthday, and so I did a little page of her. I went to the Flower Mart in Baltimore for the first time and made this little pop-up of some photos from the event, which I really enjoyed. I had a lemon stick for the first time. And what's this one? Oh, it's just a quote, but all three of those tabs are in this little folder thing. I think I got this from Heidi Swap. You know, she likes that stuff. I was trying to use up my stash too, but I really like how that turned out. First time in my life, I went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant at the casino. That was really cool. And I get back into my 5-point journaling in these pages. I get to be on the committee now as a former Teacher of the Year in Baltimore. I'm on the committee to help select future Teachers of the Year. And so this was the day we honored the new one in 2023. That was fun. This is another one of those pages where I just put pictures and captions, wrote a letter to myself, encouraged myself. I don't remember what was happening, but listen, Linda, listen. This was Mother's Day, so I put a picture of me and my mom. And then I really liked this illustrated faith kit, so I did a whole spread in here, literally covered all these Hobonichi pages right here with something from the kit. And there's more from the retreat in the kit here. This was actually written by Dots and Dust. She wrote me a little note before I left, and so I wanted to include pieces of the retreat in my journal. And Allison, who I love, this is my cousin, y'all, one of my many cousins that I've adopted. She wrote me a note in my journal. This was Safe Hope, the organization in Kansas that I donated the money to from April. And this was actually the day that I donated the money. More from that devotional in my journal. I really just, as I read through it, I cut out the things that really like stuck with my heart and I wanted to keep close. So here I'm starting to get back into the 5-point journaling again. I think this is Bianca's son. Is that Bianca's son? No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Bianca. This is Beth's son. Apparently, he saw this picture of me and said I was cute. So I put the little message she sent me in there. And then this is, a dreamy spread. I don't know. I was feeling it this day, y'all. I was going through my stash and I said, all these things match. I threw them all together and I was in love by the time I was finished. Transition a bit into some blues. My husband and I traveled that day, so I documented that. Here again, I like that dreamy look of the pages I showed you before, so I tried to kind of model in my own book that again. And then we go into the month of June. Oh, this is one of my favorite collages because I love this sticker doll. But I got back into 5-point journaling, literally in order, my 5 points here. And then just sporadically placed on these pages. You can see here, I did not do 5-point journaling. This is because I was so deep into Queen Charlotte. And so I just wrote quotes from the series that I really, really liked. And I absolutely love how this spread turned out. Here I go again with some more from Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte. Here's one of those pages I put in the 19 things to do when you don't want to journal. I literally, I don't know what was happening in June. Maybe it was me preparing for the retreat and everybody was excited about it. But I was getting all this love. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. I was getting all these sweet messages. So I printed some of them out and tipped them in to the journal so I could reread them on hard days. You can see all of these are just things that were printed from the internet that people wrote to me. So, and then I did a collage here. And art. So I decided one day I was going to test the boundaries of this paper. And so I recorded myself doing this because I was going to share it with my patrons. A lot of my patrons use this type of paper in their own planning and journaling, and I wanted to show them what was possible if they pushed the limits a little bit beyond just pen and stickers. And so we use everything from gesso to watercolor to washi tape, acrylic, watercolor paint, stickers, all kind of stuff in here to make this type of spread. Now you can see paper looks a little crinkly. That's also because I did another one on the next page. So that's why that page looks like that. But I really not only like how this looks, but I like how it sounds. You hear that? Jesus wept. I just love it. And then this came from one of those Bridgerton sticker kits that I had purchased on Etsy. But I really liked including the art because it took up all the pages that I didn't want to write on. And I get back into my 5-point journaling again. So you can see it's just like an endless flow of in and out of, 5-point journaling. I go from June to July 11th. This is real life, y'all. I mark these pages off. I ain't ashamed because I still, at the end of the day, have a year documented in this book. But I get back into my 5-point journaling. I'm using some varieties of colors now. Not my typical teal and purple. And I really like coming outside of those colors. I know people think that's all I use, but I do like using other colors. So right now I'm in a blue kick. I don't know. My whole January devotional for my Instagram subscribers is blue. So this was the time that I went to compete in a national pageant. So I documented that here, meeting all these ladies. There's a little clip of some more pictures right there, y'all. That's a lot. This girl right here, I love her. She is so funny. And just made some tip-ins of some things and captioned them. So this was really a memorable occasion. I actually wanted to be in this pageant since, I think 2009. Finally got to be in it. And I'm going to do it anyways, y'all. I said I wasn't going to open that little thing, but I'm going to do it for y'all. Okay, so here's some more pictures of people I met at the pageant. These were other contestants as well. This was the winner prior. Y'all, we went axing, and I killed that. I don't know. I must have took my anger out from something. Because when he said throw that thing, now the first couple of times I missed. But honey, once I got the hang of it, I hit that little centerpiece a couple times. So I really just, this might look like 5-point journaling, but this is really documentation of what happened during pageant week. And you'll see a bunch of my pageant sisters in these photos. More flips and stuff. It's me backstage in that photo. Let me see, is there any more flips here? This was after the pageant. I didn't win, but I was happy because I did my thing. And it was a really great experience to meet those who I had only talked to online. So here, I go back into my 5-point journaling. Y'all don't look at my husband's cell phone number. I don't know why they put that all big on that receipt, but I did a review of this place locally called Hue Cafe and Apothecary. And yeah, so here I'm getting back into 5-point journaling, taking some breaks still. I was still Mrs. Maryland at the time, and I think trying to juggle being a queen and doing the community work, plus journaling, plus working, plus being an entrepreneur. It was just a lot at the time. So I'm going into August now. This is my anniversary month, and March, my husband's birthday month. So I did a little M and L for him and I. You'll see here also, ooh, child, some pages with just quotes. Here's some 5-point journaling. This was actually our anniversary day. This was us on our anniversary. And I wrote a lot about him. I write a lot about him in August. So back into my 5-point journaling. I really like this. Look at that, how that is just, I love foiled sticker kits, because they are really foiled. Like, those people do not play about their foiling. So I put some artwork in here. Here's another dog collage, some more 5-point journaling, quote and collage. So Martis and I went to Chicago in August, just as a little getaway for ourselves. Don't laugh at my picture, y'all. This is my sketch notes. And so I sketched each day while we were there, because I didn't have all the things. I didn't take all my art supplies with me. I just took my Hobonichi and like some colored pencils and a pen, I think. So this is what came of that. I met Heather while I was there. I hope she okay with that picture. And this is Martis, who fell asleep on the plane. So came back home, tried to use my little prayer pad from Illustrated Faith. And another little dog collage here. I really like her. She looks so good on that background. I get back into my 5-point journaling. I'm using up stickers at this point again. And so 5-point journaling, but I did a collage on the opposite page to match what kind of correlate with the opposite page. And then here again, 5-point journaling with the opposite decorative page. Now this page is actually 2, because I cut a hole through here to show you the other page. So this is actually the 26th and 7th, but see, I skipped the 25th too, because I covered that. So whatevs. And so I made a little peekaboo with this page and did this little tip in of this quote at the bottom. This is from Ladies Loving God. I really like their printables. Her too, it's the same girl, full body. And this was, I believe this was it for the month. Now, I did continue to write in here for September, but this was just like notes, literal notes. It wasn't anything to look at. Now, I got fancy one day and did this spread using Country Morning Creations book page. And then that was it for me, because this was the day before my cat had to be put down, so there wasn't anything else to write in this book that was worth looking at. But in the back, I wrote out, and this was, you know, at some point in the year, I wrote out my accomplishments. I tried to write them as they happened, but I stopped in probably around September also. Some Patreon ideas, something I was going to do that didn't pan out. I was planning my trip to Bali, my next retreat. Not going there anymore, but these were the plans that I had for what I was going to do there for the participants. And then I did some favorites here. So I tried to use these pages in the back of the Hobonichi. These are pages that are often forgotten. I was going to write the 100 out, didn't do that, but I did write out some of my favorite things on this page. And I wrote 2 words here. I was going to write more words to remember, but I guess I didn't encounter any more. And then also on this page, you're supposed to use this tracker to check something off each day, but I marked the days when I had my visit from Dot. She's annoying. I don't ever want her to come over, but she comes, and she just shows up every month. And so I marked her off here through September. And I believe that was it for January through September in my Hobonichi cousin. That wasn't too bad, 30 minutes. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if there was something in particular that you really liked, that you might try, something that shocked you. And I'll engage back. I'm always curious as to what y'all's thoughts are on what I share. So thanks for joining me today for this flip through, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.